for the latest on this, we can cross live to our correspondent, Maria Gerth-Niculescu, in the capital, Addis Ababa. Thanks for joining us, Maria. Now tell us more about the World Food Programme's assessment of extreme hunger in Tigray.
Yeah, well, according to this latest assessment, 4.6 million people in the Tigray region are suffering from food insecurity. This is more than 80% of the population. And out of these 4.6 million people, 2 million are believed to be severely malnourished, according to the World Food Programme. The report is considered by the UN agency as the first credible and reliable food security assessment in over 6 months. Delivering aid to Tigray has been complicated since the beginning of this conflict in November 2020, but has been made almost impossible since the month of July. Now we're in a situation where no ground convoy carrying humanitarian aid has been allowed or able to access the Tigray region for over a month. The UN's humanitarian agency said that all international aid organizations in Tigray had now run out of fuel, and that the little aid that they were able to deliver had to be transported on foot. And with renewed fighting in the Afar region, this has further constrained the delivery of humanitarian aid to Tigray. The Afar region has the only accessible road that can actually enter Tigray at this moment and reach the regional capital, Mekelle. So we're in an extremely we're seeing an extremely severe humanitarian crisis in the region at the moment.
And as you mentioned, the humanitarian conditions, those dire conditions fueled by the ongoing conflict. What's the latest in the fighting?
Yeah, so earlier this week, the TPLF had announced that it had launched military operations in the neighboring Afar region following attacks by pro-governmental forces. But the Ethiopian government accuses the Tigrayan forces of initiating these hostilities. We also have local NGOs on the ground who are sounding the alarm on how these new attacks are impacting the civilian populations on the ground. Apart from that, in the last month or so, military attacks have been restrained mostly to the Tigray region after Tigrayan forces had retreated from neighboring regions in December. And these attacks have essentially been airstrikes allegedly carried out by the Ethiopian government in different parts of Tigray. And these airstrikes have left dozens of civilians dead, despite talks between AU and US envoys and the parties to the conflict. So far, a ceasefire does not seem to be on the agenda. And in addition to that, the territorial claims by the Amharas in southern and western Tigray are far from being solved. And this could pose an additional obstacle to peaceful settlement of this conflict.